Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text 1 to 3, Krishna is enumerating the divine qualities to Arjuna. So Satyam, this word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. In Vedic literature, there are some difficult passages, but the meaning or the purpose should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master. That is the process for understanding the Vedas. Shruti means that one should hear from the authority. One should not construe some interpretation for his personal interest. There are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita that misinterpret the original text. The real import of the word should be presented, and that should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master. So we know that there are so many there's translations of Bhagavad Gita, but none of them are authorized, none except Bhagavad Gita as it is. That's why Srila Prabhupada wrote the title of this Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita as it is, because most of the Bhagavad Gitas in the market, the person who's translated it has not translated it verbatim. They have not translated it word for word. Yeah, that's the reason Prabhupada is giving the Sanskrit text, then each Sanskrit meaning. We can see how he is translating it. Or the Sanskrit original is there. That is the Sanskrit, and then each Sanskrit word, how it's translated in English, and then the translation, so that there is no room for misinterpreting Krishna's message. There are many people who don't want to hear the Bhagavad Gita from the proper authority, and then they just make up, because it's difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita if you don't hear from a devotee. And then they'll just make up, oh, I think it's this, I think it's this. So they themselves are on the mental platform. Then if they are going to tell about it to others, they're going to misguide others also. So we have to be careful that we should hear from the proper authority, from a bona fide spiritual master. Akrodha means to check anger. Even if there's provocation, one should be tolerant. For once one becomes angry, his whole body becomes polluted. Anger is a product of the mode of passion and lust. So one who is transcendentally situated should check himself from anger. So why does anger come? Is because we have a desire. We have one strong desire. And when that desire we are not able to fulfill, then we get frustrated and we get angry. So we should try to be tolerant. Okay, my desire didn't get fulfilled, it's okay. And in fact, even before that, why does that desire, why does this lust comes? Because our mind keeps thinking of those things. If we stop our mind from thinking the things of sense enjoyment, we can stop this anger. If we are really going to think the whole day, I really want this, I really want this, we continue thinking in our mind, I want this, if I have it, I'm going to be happy, and this and that, and whole time we are meditating on this. Then when it really doesn't happen, then we get frustrated and we get angry. So that's why instead we should focus our mind in relating everything to Krishna, thinking about Krishna. Then we can save ourselves from anger. Apeshuna means that one should not find fault with others or correct them unnecessarily. Of course, to call a thief is not fault finding. But to call an honest person a thief is very much offensive for one who is making advancement in spiritual life. So most of us are guilty of anger and even more of fault finding. We see that everybody else has a fault and I don't have any fault. But we should try to see that because the acharyas say that the fault we are seeing in others, we are able to see it because actually that fault is in us, and maybe even to a bigger degree. Sometimes we just project our own faults on another. That person might not even have a fault, but because we have that fault in our heart and because of our envy, we think that that other person is at fault. So we should be careful. If we are finding, oh, this person is like this person did this wrong, this wrong in that person, we should try to see, is there something wrong in me? Is it that the same fault is in me? Is it there? Let me try to check my own heart. As they say, you point one finger out and then there are four fingers pointing at our own self. So it's very important for us to check our own heart, what is inside there. Now, of course, Prabhupada is saying to call a thief is not fault finding. But most of the time, we are just finding faults with others because those faults are in our heart. So we should be attentive to that. Re means that one should be very modest and must not perform some act which is abominable. So we should safeguard ourselves from engaging in sinful activities. Because we all have this tendency to engage in sinful activities. We have that. But then if we engage and indulge in them, then we are not going to uplift our consciousness. We won't be able to get out of this material world. We'll degrade ourselves to lower species of life. Achapalam, determination, means that one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should not be sorry for that. He should make progress with patience and determination. So determination is required in all endeavors, be it material or spiritual. When we take up some activity that I'm going to do this, I'm responsible for this, then to do that, there are so many times, oh, I don't feel like doing it, or this circumstance, that circumstance, but we should not give it up untimely. We should have, like, oh, I don't want to chant today, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't feel very well today, let me not chant. Maybe I'll chant tomorrow, maybe I'll chant day after tomorrow. I'm so busy doing this and that, so maybe I won't chant. No, we should take it up with determination. No, I have said I'm going to chant X number of rounds every day, so I must chant. I must hear from Bhagavatam every day, Bhagavad Gita every day. So that way. The word tejas used here is meant for the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas should always be very strong to be able to give protection to the weak. They should not pose themselves as non-violent. If violence is required, they must exhibit it. But a person who is able to curb down his enemy may, under certain conditions, show forgiveness. He may excuse minor offenses. So for Kshatriyas, they need to be violent, otherwise they won't be able to maintain the law and order in society. Of course, nowadays, in this Kali Yuga, we do not have any proper Kshatriyas. Shaucha means cleanliness, not only in mind and body, but in one's dealings also. It is especially meant for the mercantile people who should not deal in the black market. So cleanliness means we should be clean inside and outside. And we can maintain internal cleanliness by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Nati Manita, not expecting honor, applies to the Shudras, the worker class, which are considered, according to Vedic injunctions, to be the lowest of the four classes. They should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige or honor and should remain in their own status. It is the duty of the Shudras to offer respect to the higher class for the upkeep of the social order. All these 26 qualifications mentioned are transcendental qualities. They should be cultivated according to the different statuses of social and occupational order. The purport is that even though material conditions are miserable, if these qualities are developed by practice, all classes of men, then gradually, it is possible to rise to the highest platform of transcendental realization. So these divine qualities, if we try to cultivate them, practice by determination, then they will help us in our spiritual life. They will help us to quickly progress in our spiritual life. Is that okay? Yeah, so maybe we can stop here then. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. And we can do the text for tomorrow. Hare Krishna.